In this vlog, I'm going to go over another theory, and like most of the theories I've come up with, you can take this one with a grain of salt if you want to do that, but I think it's a solid theory. And before I really shut the channel down, I want to put about every type of theory you can possibly think of out into the world, so that everything is covered, because that's kind of the point of the channel. So I think that what we're dealing with, well, at least in the United States, what we possibly could be dealing with is, well, I don't even want to say what we're dealing with. I think really what happened with a lot of us is that we just simply discovered how things actually are. And before we discovered how things are, everybody has some sort of motivation to lie to us. So the thing about humanity that you really start to understand is that humans are about portraying themselves in a better light than they actually are. I think that they want to sort of send out a false narrative, or to, show that, or to convince the universe long after humans are gone. I think humanity wants to basically send a message, like portray itself as being good when it really isn't. And that's kind of like the point. I think that even when we deal with like other countries, like the third world countries, we always try to pretend that we're good people and shit. I think that like humans are like, and how in our media we're always portraying ourselves as good. Humans portray themselves as good, and they think that the message lives on, and whoever sees the message will believe it, so that our legacy is good even though we're not good. So we create a false legacy. Like I think humans would create a false legacy, like or the United States at the very least is a false. It's like, why be good when all you have to do is pretend or send a false message out there and convince people that you were, even when you weren't. You don't even have to be good. Like, I think that's kind of like the point. Like, like if you can convince people, like other, like the Asian countries, like like the Koreans or something. If you can convince them you're good, you don't have to be good. You can just convince them that you're good, and you'll be remembered as being good. Like, you'll be remembered for being good without actually having to be good, I think is the point. Like, so like what'll happen is that they'll have like one or two people who they protect or keep away, lie to, and these will be good people, and these people kind of be like their ambassadors. And then it's kind of like, people would think that all Americans are like these few select people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there'll be a couple of good people, and these people will be singled out, and then it's kind of just like, I don't know. Like, it seems like the one thing I've learned is, like, it's hard to articulate what I'm saying here, but what I've learned is that humanity has some sort of motivation to want to pretend to be something it isn't, or at the very least the United States is like that. The United States is just out there lying to everybody and tricking everybody, and and hiding hiding who it really is up until now. So like so we're taken back by the operation because we think there's something wrong here, when in reality there probably was nothing ever wrong. I mean, basically the people got tired of lying to you, and that was pretty much it. Like, they just felt like there was no need to lie to you anymore. Everybody else grew up knowing the horrible nature of our people, and for some reason we are late to the game. We're late to the game. Like, we didn't realize people are horrible until later on in life. And they had a reason for keeping us like that. Like, so I think that actually makes some sense. Like, they were just like pretending that they were okay people, and they just weren't. And we bought into it, and for some reason they had like a motivation. Who knows what they would have done? Like, they might have just been like, look at this guy. I mean, he's us, American. He represents us. See how nice he is, or see how decent. Like, he'll, they can, I don't know, maybe they'll just peddle our life to the Chinese or something. We would be like the only people in the United States who aren't monsters, but the United States will hold us up as some sort of representative for America, when really we're the polar opposite of the average American. But And the reason why I think this might be a possibility is because if you ever watch TV or like the movies and stuff, these movies never, ever, ever reflect the true nature of people. Why do we make it so that the good guy wins in these movies and TV shows? Like every single show, it'll be a bunch of good people, and it'll just be like one bad person versus all these good people. What the hell? Really? You see that? Like they make it seem like being a bad person is like the exception or something. Like being a decent human being is the exception. Like how often do you watch a show and everybody in the show is bad except for like one person? Because that's how it actually is. But you know, the United States, especially the United States, feels like, why do I have to, lying works so well, tricking people works so well. Why would you actually be a good person when all you have to do is to control the message? As long as you can convince people. So since I've lived out here, I've realized that people, how many good people have I met? I may not have met any good people in my entire life. Like you probably could go your whole life without meeting a person who's worth anything. Like your entire life. But the media will make you think that every single human damn near is a decent person, except for like this select few people, like just like it's like a handful of bad seeds. Everybody is a bad seed. Like everybody, everywhere. Like I've never met a good seed since I've been out here. There probably isn't any. Like there aren't any good seeds. That's why the world has gone to shit. But you know, the United States has agendas, man. Like the United States has these agendas, man. That's why I used to wonder why they insist on lying to people. Like, what are they getting out of it? I think it's just because, you know, they deal with other countries and they know, you know, they have a reason for bullshitting everybody, I'm telling you. I think that if anyone ever got the upper hand on them, they would try to run back to morality or try to portray themselves as moral, then make them out to be bad guys. Trust me when I tell you, the United States has some sort of manipulative agenda for portraying itself as decent, and that's all I really know. And like I said in other recordings, you'll never fully know what the people are up to other than they're just full of it. That's why they cover up the gang stalking. I mean, do you know how the Chinese are just owning the shit that they do that's fucked up? You notice how the United States will not own this shit? Like it'll hide it? Why do you think it's hiding it? The point is that they hide shit and they manipulate fucking people. That's why they could have just straight up told people, oh yeah, we gang stalk people. The Chinese would have done it. The Chinese would have been like, oh yeah, we do that shit. Oh, they wouldn't have hidden it. See, the difference between the United States and the United States is sneaky. It's sneaky and it's fucking deceptive as opposed to these other countries. So they have like a reason for that. And I think the problem is that we don't know what the reason is. So like they're tricking and lying to people, the entire world, and they have a motivation for it that works to their advantage, and we don't know what the motivation is, but they have one. Like the Chinese would not be bullshitting anybody about what they do. Like if they didn't like some political activists, you notice how they'll just send their people, and if anybody asks, they say, yeah, we sent somebody, we got this guy, we black bagged him. They're not going to lie about it. This country will lie about it. That's why even now they're lying about it. They would never admit it, but they do it. Which is why even now they haven't admitted it. Even now I'm like, well, even with the evidence in the channel, you might think, well, why wouldn't they come out there? Because the United States has a reason for lying to people about every single thing they do. When they do some evil, they just lie about it. They do some evil, they do all sorts of evil shit. They're over in the Middle East just doing all sorts of evil shit to those people and lying about it. So I think that the major thing is there's some sort of advantage that the United States gets from being deceptive, and we don't know what the advantage is. It gives them some sort of upper hand, and that's one of the unknowns. So like other countries don't feel the need to deceive people. Like Vladimir Putin wouldn't really feel the need to lie to his citizens about how it is. The United States lies about everything. Like that's why the United States will be worse than a lot of these countries and portray itself as better. I have no idea how the way this political system works. since I've been dealing with these people, I was like, why haven't you just owned what you're doing? Everybody's involved. So why couldn't you just be like, yeah, we're gang stalk. We gang stalk people. Why couldn't the government come out and admit that? Why would they lie when they know everybody knows? Everyone in this country, at least. So going back to what I said, just like in the media, these countries, that's why everything that happens, nobody admits it, nobody lets it go to court. It seems like everything that the United States does is sneaky. Like the United States is the sneakiest country on the planet, which probably means it's also the worst one. If you're this sneaky, you have a lot. There's a lot of shit that you're hiding. Basically, they have a lot of skeletons in their closet to the point where even countries like Russia and China fuck around and just be like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine the skeletons these people have in their closet. That's why they're sneaky. Like, they're worse than every other country, even possibly even North Korea. But if you're that sneaky, you probably have a good reason to be that sneaky, is the point. Like if the world found out what the United States is really about, if the world ever found out, who fucking knows? Maybe they're afraid of what would happen if the world found out. Like China, Russia, North Korea, if they found out how fucked these people actually are, how evil the United States is, I don't know. They have a reason. They have a motivation. So, the point is that I don't know if it's a human thing or if it's an American thing, but people have been telling me that this is going on all over the world. And that's assuming you don't believe in the spiritual. Well, I mean, if it's going on all over the world, then it's a global thing and it's not, but I'm just saying the United States is still sneaky as shit. It's still sneaky as shit. Because go to China and they're not going to bullshit you. Okay, they'll fucking say, you cannot do this. We have our people. And the ruling party of China, I don't think the ruling party of China is kind of on like this whole sneaky, lying, cheating little thing they got going on here. Like I think if you were a problem, they would just address you and not really hide it if anybody asked. So I'm going to assume that that's kind of how they're working, because I've never heard of them really denying what they do. But the weird part about this is that you never really know the motivations behind why these people lie and they're so sneaky. Like why they're so sneaky. Why is the entire United States sneaky? Like, and it started all the way back before 9/11. Well, there was a reason for 9/11, and they would never admit why 9/11 happened. There was a reason. We caused 9/11. We were over there doing all sorts of evil stuff and got those people riled up. But no one ever talked about why that happened, but we're responsible for it because we just lie about it. We lied and denied and cheated and everything, so we cover it up. So we caused that to happen because the country is like the worst people in the world, and they lie. So it was kind of just like, okay, that's why when that happened, I was just like, well, I'm probably, I know how sneaky the country is, and I know how sneaky these people are. So I'm thinking they were over there just like sneaking around doing sneaky stuff. And, terrorizing those people. And they didn't have a strong enough military to fight back. So you see what I'm saying here? So the country is just really sneaky. So we had 9/11 coming and we finally got it. And we pretended to be the victim, but we weren't the victim. We were the bully. So we were the bully and we were beating the hell out of these people. And then they figured out a clever way of getting us back. And then we played the victim. That's why everybody out here, one of the things you learn is that the United States is good at bullying people and then playing the victim or playing the good guy after it bullies, which actually coincides with what the gang stalkers are doing. So the government, I think that the point is that this is how the government works. The government bullies people, and then when they get punched back, when the victim punches them back, they all of a sudden take the victim role. But so I think that's effective strategy, but I don't know why, because China doesn't do that. Neither does North Korea. I don't think any other country really does that. But they have some sort of motivation for doing it. So I think that, just like with gang stalking, we have to figure out why they feel the need to deceive the world. Do they think the world will uprise or try to take us down? Like they have a sneaky reason. I really hate the fact that I have to live here. That's why I said there's one thing that I do not appreciate as being an American citizen. I'll tell the most patriotic, flag-wearing Republican to his face I feel that way. I was like, I live in this country long enough to not appreciate the fact that I have to live here. But I don't have a choice. Nor does the kids who were born in Africa have a choice if they were born in Africa. It's just you have to, play the hand you were dealt in life.